Two northeast men are held by police on the Costa Brava investigating an £11 million drugs haul. A North Yorkshire RAF station is to close under a government defence review, but another is to be expanded. Police blame drivers for multiple pile-ups in thick fog on the A19. And school children are told they can't use their playing field because of dog mess, which could cause blindness.
Good evening. Also in Northern Life tonight, as England get ready to face the West Indies in the next Test match, how a new version of cricket aims to get youngsters into the game earlier.
Good evening. Two men from County Durham are being held in a Spanish jail after police seized nearly a tonne of hashish worth £11 million. They are due to appear in court tomorrow. Here's Stuart McNeill.
The two men have been named as John Shutt, aged 43, and Thomas Carr, who's 53. Tonight, Northern Life tracked both men down to the village of Kellow near Durham City, where they're believed to be neighbours. Relatives in the houses refused to comment. The two were arrested along with two other Britons and a Spaniard after police swooped near the resort of Rosas near the French border. According to police, the drugs have been taken by a Gibraltar-registered yacht from Morocco. The drugs, in nearly 4,000 slabs, were seized after they'd been transferred to a Pantechnicon carrying rock group equipment. They were hidden among scenery and instruments inside the vehicle. The wagon is apparently owned by a British company called DGB Scenery Transport. All 5 arrested men have been taken to police headquarters at Figueres and will appear before an investigating magistrate tomorrow.
Drivers have been blamed for a spate of accidents that blocked the A19 during thick fog this morning. There were 5 crashes near Peterlee and a 5-vehicle pile-up near Seaham. At least 3 people were taken to hospital, but none of them is thought to be seriously injured.
Drivers on the A19 were faced with mist and patches of dense fog this morning. The result, 6 separate accidents, the road blocked in at least 2 places, and 3 people in hospital. The worst accident was on the southbound carriageway near Seaham in County Durham. 5 cars, one towing a trailer, and an articulated lorry collided in fog. Police say drivers were travelling too fast, too close, and many were not using headlights. 2 people were injured, neither of them seriously. Further south, there were 5 smaller accidents on the northbound carriageway near Peterlee. One man was taken to hospital with head wounds, but is not thought to be seriously injured. The Weather Centre says the fog is caused by cold air blowing off the sea, and more can be expected for the rest of the week.
A northeast company today announced a breakthrough in making drugs which could help to fight serious diseases around the world. Their method dramatically reduces the high price of producing certain drugs. One treatment which had cost about £100 to refine 1 gram can now be produced for just £10.
And the firm at Concert is already involved in new American drugs being developed for the treatment of heart disease, AIDS and several forms of cancer.
The company Bioprocessing Limited is a world leader in providing a unique means of purifying essential proteins, which in turn form part of a new range of genetically engineered drugs expected on the market within the next 2 to 4 years. Today, the company announced expansion plans costing almost £2.75 million, meaning new laboratories and high-grade jobs for Concert. The new technique was discovered by Dr. Kami Beyzavi at Surrey University. He's now a vital member of the Derwentide company. The Concert process is already being used in the manufacture of 2 new drugs. One is a genetically engineered insulin for treating sufferers of sugar diabetes. It's now no longer necessary to extract insulin from pigs in slaughterhouses. Another new drug is used in the treatment of dwarves. In the past, a substance had to be extracted from human corpses. It took 20 corpses to produce just 1 dose. A new treatment for dwarfism now comes from a genetically engineered drug, with Procep from Concert playing a leading role in its manufacture.
Well, a major proportion of the cost of manufacturing the new biopharmaceutical products lies in their purification, up to 80%, many people have said. Procep enables that element of the cost to be reduced dramatically, as much as 5 or 10 times. Being able to reduce the cost of these products will ultimately make them be available to a much wider range of people, much more people. They are expensive products, and it's essential that the cost of them be brought down.
The new investment capital announced today comes from several sources in Britain, France and the European community. It ranges between £400,000 from the Department of Trade and Industry to £25,000 from Durham County Council. It all becomes involved in the production of experimental new drugs in America for heart disease, AIDS and cancer.
Whilst I can't be specific, it wouldn't be right to be specific, I can tell you that there are some very, very astounding results being obtained, particularly in the treatment of cancer.
Bioprocessing Limited now prepares to expand on a greenfield site in Consett. Staff will grow from just 12 to 130 and turnover is expected to reach £30 million a year.
Hundreds of school children in a County Durham village have been put at risk after playing on a school field which is highly contaminated by the Toxocara disease present in dog dirt. An investigation into the problem at Witton Gilbert revealed that the school field was the most highly contaminated spot in the village. Now it's become a no-go zone after the headmaster at the local school declared it out of bounds on health grounds. The disease can cause a number of illnesses, including blindness, and it's being blamed on careless dog owners.
It's playtime here at Witton Gilbert School, but for the 160 children, they're now confined to the playground because the playing field next door is so contaminated by dog faeces. The shocking results were revealed after 6 sites were tested by experts at Sunderland Polytechnic at the request of the parish council. They found that Toxocara eggs were present in large numbers and therefore posed a significant danger to children using the playing field. The headmaster had to take action to protect the pupils.
Knowing the dangers and being well aware of loco parentis, these children are under my charge. I had to think of their safety, so I stopped them playing on the field since then.
Have you actually seen children yourself dirtied with it?
We have. I don't think it's the duty of teachers or indeed auxiliaries to have to clean dog's dirt from children. I myself have cleaned dog's dirt even from lunch boxes.
It's not just the headmaster who's angry at not being able to use the facility. The children are upset too.
I'm really disappointed about it because I like doing football, but we can hardly ever do that now. And I like running, you know, I just like sport, but we can't really do much of that because of the field and where it is.
Emma, does it bother you about not being able to play in the field?
Yeah, it does, and it puts me off when we're doing things like sports events. And they're the only times we can go on the field because you just feel nervous about it. You don't want to go on because you don't know what might be there. Well, you know what's there, but you don't know where it is, and it's awful.
The field is a public amenity and is used by many people to exercise their animals. It's only a minority of dog owners who allow their pets to foul areas where children play. Although the kids are now aware of the dangers, many pet owners aren't. And this is what we're talking about. When Toxocara eggs get into the body, they hatch in the intestine and burrow their way through the wall, eating their way through the rest of the body, causing various amounts of damage, until, of course, they get to the brain, and that's when epilepsy and blindness can occur. The children haven't been able to use the field now for 2 months. Parents agree it's a situation which needs sorting out.
It's just sad, you know, it's disease, the field. It'll take years before it recovers from the eggs that's in the ground.
Durham County Council are now considering the matter, but they say they think the only solution is to educate dog owners to be more responsible. But a couple of dog owners I spoke to who didn't want to be interviewed said they felt there wasn't a problem.
Thank you, Liz, for that report. The government has announced that one of North Yorkshire's RAF bases is to close, but there are expansion plans for another. The base to close next year is RAF Church Fenton near Tadcaster, which was a wartime fighter base. His current role as a pilot training centre will be transferred.
The announcement in the House of Commons this afternoon that RAF Church Fenton is to close hasn't come as a great surprise to those who work at the base. Church Fenton had been expected to be one of the casualties in the government's cost-cutting proposals, called Options for Change. The base is currently the home of No. 7 Flight Training School. By April next year, the 250 service personnel will be transferred either to RAF Cranwell in Lincolnshire or RAF Linton-on-Ouse in North Yorkshire. However, the small number of civilians who work there will lose their jobs. The RAF say the airfield will remain operational to be used in an emergency, and surplus land will be sold off. But there's better news for another North Yorkshire airbase. The air training operation at RAF Swinderby in Nottinghamshire will be transferred to RAF Topcliffe near Thirsk. It's already home to a joint RAF and Royal Navy flight training school.